Hi, everybody, and welcome to the All About Cats event where you can ask me, Tabitha Kucera, all your cat behavior questions. I'm just going to get the chat up so I can make sure to see. I'm Tabitha Kucera. I am a certified cat behavior consultant, a registered vet tech, and a Karen Pryor Academy certified training partner. I own Chirps and Chatter, cat and dog behavior consulting and training in Cleveland, Ohio. And I am excited to answer all your cat behavior questions and cat care questions, of course. To get more expert insights, you can always go to the All About Cats community, which is the link right below. You can check that out at your leisure. But I am answering all of your cat behavior questions, and I'm excited to be here to talk about our favorite thing, cats, of course. So let me see here. That's me just checking out the chat. I don't want to miss any important questions. Awesome. And while people are coming in, I'll just start to introduce myself again. Welcome to the All About Cats, Ask a Cat Behavior Consultant, your cat care and cat behavior questions. Again, my name is Tabitha Kucera. I'm a registered vet tech, a certified cat behavior consultant, and a Karen Pryor Academy certified training partner. And I'm so excited to be here with All About Cats live to answer all of your cat behavior questions. You guys can throw those in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them as concisely as I can, because behavior is super fun, but it is complex, of course, and every animal is an individual, including your kitties. So I see the one question, why does my cat go in the bathroom and meow really loud? I would definitely need a little more context to know the answer, but cats tend to vocalize or meow in many cases to communicate with their humans. So your cat might be vocalizing because they want you to play, or they want attention, like they want cuddles, they may want food. In some cases, senior cats can vocalize excessively, especially at night or in random places due to some cognitive dysfunction. But in most cases, it's attention. So your cat's probably just asking to play or hang out. Let's see here. Here's a great question from Elma. How do I identify if my two cats are friends or enemies? That's a great question. A few things that you can look at. I like to look at it as green, which is happy, positive friends, or red. Signs that your cats are bonded and enjoy each other's company are if you see them allo-grooming, which just means a cat is licking another cat, which you may have seen, or if your cats like to sleep touching each other, that's a really good sign that they are bonded and friends. Another great sign is, let's say you're relaxing on the couch at the end of the night, they're both resting on the same piece of furniture, or they're both using the same cat tree, so sharing the same pieces of furniture. Some signs that they may not be friends is if you notice that your cats are hissing and growling at each other, or one cat becomes a little withdrawn and doesn't want to come out very much when the other cat's out. Another thing is, and if there's two cats, if the other cat goes around the cat like this instead of past like this means the cat's a little conflicted. So those are a few signs that can let you know if your cats are friends or enemies, but it's all about looking at their body language and seeing how they feel around each other. And again, welcome. This is the All About Cats cat behavior question asking forum with me, Tabitha Kucera. I'm a certified cat behavior consultant and registered vet tech. I'm just looking at all these beautiful questions. Hello, why does my cat immediately lick himself in the spot I just pet him? Does that mean he doesn't like it? Awesome observation. Actually, it can mean that. Cats will lick as a displacement behavior, which just means a behavior that is normal but taken out of context. So it's like a subtle discomfort, like me biting my nails or scratching my head. So if you pet your cat and then he starts to lick right away, groom or scratch, that could be a subtle sign of some, I'm a little conflicted. So in that case, that may be a sign that he actually didn't enjoy that petting. What I would say to see if he's enjoying the petting is usually if your cat goes up to you and puts their head into your hand, that's them asking for consent and actually asking you to pet them. So I would try to just pet him when he asks instead of petting him at other times, and see if you notice that licking right after. But that's a really good observation. Loving all the questions. I got to get low to read them all. Let's see here. My cat is a 1-year-old rescue and he runs around meowing like crazy and I don't know what to do. Is he traumatized? It's hard to know for sure. I would look at his entire body language. So is he running around with a nice curved tail with ears forward, his body soft, or with his ears forward, like I mentioned, or is he running around with his tail tucked, his ears back, his eyes dilated? Because those are more signs of discomfort or fear versus the tail up and question marked or princess tail, ears forward, soft face, eyes are almond shaped versus circled, which can be fear or arousal. So I would really look at that body language and try to make a note of when is he doing it? Is he doing it around dusk every night? Because he may just be having like a zoomy event where he's bored, and it's never going to hurt to increase enrichment and give your cats more prey and predatory outlets like scheduled playtimes, clicker training, food puzzle toys, lots of different things. And if you notice it happens around the same time per day, I would recommend giving him a fun enrichment activity like tissue paper with some kibble or a food puzzle toy or a play wand session 10 to 15 minutes before that Zoom session. And if you notice a decrease in it, then most likely the cause was boredom. But if he's running around when there's a truck outside, and again, he's showing signs of fear, that might be him being afraid of something. So kind of look at those things and you can get a better idea of how to tackle it for sure. Let's see here. So many wonderful questions. Is there such thing as overplaying with a very active kitten? How do I get my cat to cuddle and be more of a lap cat? There is no such thing as overplaying with a very active kitten. And they just need more, like I just was saying, cats need more prey and predatory outlets. So cats like to cuddle and be a lap cat, but it's really important to give them appropriate outlets for their play. And kittens, even senior cats, but kittens especially, need a lot of outlets to play, a lot more than just a box of toys. They need scheduled playtimes, clicker training, things to chase and hunt. You can harness train them and walk them outside. And then towards the end of the day, he may want to relax and cuddle on your lap. And the best ways I say to help encourage your cat to be a lap cat is respect them. So listen to their body language. Don't force, like, don't grab the cat and be like, you're going to sit on my lap. Because if someone forced me to hug them, I'm not going to like them very much at all. And cats are the same way. So I would just respect your kitten's boundaries. And if your kitten is laying on you, just be calm and chill. And if they lean into your hand, that's your kitten asking you to pet them. If not, just let them chill on your lap. And the more positive experiences they have with that, the more they'll relax around you. But then also play, play, play. Lots of resources, scratching surfaces, hiding places, things for them to play with on their own, things with them to play with you. It's a lot more, like I said, than that just a box of toys and an occasional playtime. It's a lot more than that to keep them happy and busy. Welcome again to the All About Cats behavior. Ask Tabitha, me, a cat behavior consultant and registered for vet tech, all your cat behavior questions. You can get more expert insights at the All About Cats community, which is the link right here. I'm just going to read more about some wonderful questions here. Hi, I just adopted a kitty, so I'm not sure of the age. And why is she pooping and peeing all over the place? Right away, if a cat is doing both of those things, I would recommend a veterinary visit immediately, because it's very likely that there could be a medical issue going on, especially considering you just adopted the cat and the shelter might have not had the means to thoroughly examine and get blood work and correct diagnostics on the cat. So I would definitely recommend ruling out some medical issues, and then also making sure you have an appropriate litter box set up enough litter boxes in easily accessible places. So for example, if your litter boxes are only in the basement and your cat has to go all the way down there to go to the bathroom, they should be more accessible near where they rest and things like that. But those are some two great places to get started with that kitty. First things first, vet visit, because I'm definitely concerned about a medical issue and or behavior issue. They may not feel safe going to the bathroom or lots of other things. Let's see what else we have here. So many wonderful questions. Okay. Hi to everyone saying hi. I love all the love. I'm feeling it. What does it mean when my big cat, I love how observant you guys of your kitties. What does it mean when my big cat licks the little cat and then bites his neck and pin him down? Also, they play very roughly. The kitten would squeak all the time during play, but he always goes back. Very good observation. Again, commonly play and aggression can kind of look similar with cats. So that's actually a normal way for cats to play. Now, some ways to tell if it's play or aggression, because right, it can be hard sometimes. Ideally, there should be minimal to no sounds. So you mentioned your kitten would squeak, and if the other cat then disengages, that cat's doing an awesome job because the kitten's like, dude, let's take a break. And the other cat then takes a break, and then, like you said, they play again. So with play, appropriate cat play, there's breaks. They chase each other back and forth. So it's not just one cat chasing the same cat. It's a lot of stop and go and chasing each other. We also tend to see positive body language. So we're not seeing ears all the way back with growling and extreme, like high vocalizations with piloerection, which means hair standing up. We tend to see more tail up, ears forward, soft body, loose body language with play. So those are some good ways you can tell if it's play or aggression, because sometimes it could be kind of hard to tell. Let's see here. Love it. I love all the questions. I see someone say my cat is a murderer, very aggressive. That sounds like a pretty serious issue. I highly recommend contacting your veterinarian, a veterinary behaviorist and or a certified cat behavior consultant, because although most to all animals, when they're exhibiting aggressive behavior, biting, scratching, obviously that's a concern and we want to keep everybody safe. But in many cases, cats are doing that out of fear and or pain. So it's really important to work with a certified behavior professional and your veterinarian to help your cat and you live a happier life. So I highly recommend that, because we can't have that. And if your cat's exhibiting that behavior, they're definitely struggling with some severe stress and or medical issues. So we definitely all want what's best for your cat. So highly recommend doing that. That's really complex for me. I would need a lot more information to answer that thoroughly. But a great starting point would be hiring a certified behavior professional, a veterinary behaviorist, and going to your veterinarian as well. Let's see here. I adopted my cat 5 months ago. Oh, so many of us adopted animals during the pandemic. They really helped, didn't they? I find she's always tense, nervous, and alert. Good observation. She doesn't like to be picked up nor petted. I also found she ran away when I used my spray bottle for my plants. Awesome observation. So in most cases, it sounds like your cat might have some anxiety, and maybe your cat has a learning history where people use spray bottles, which is not recommended. They are for watering plants, not for spraying cats. But if someone in the cat's past, which we can't know, did negative things with the squirt bottle and they just see it and run, that's a pretty strong indicator that cat might have had some negative things happen to them around a spray bottle or when someone was holding a spray bottle. And that can also explain some of the anxiety and tension that you're noticing, because when we tend to use punishment-based training, it's not recommended. We tend to see a lot of anxious cats. People are punishing their animals incorrectly. They don't have correct timing. I could go on and on and on. So I would respect your kitty, since she doesn't like to be picked up or petted for now. She's still adapting. I know 5 months sounds like a long time, but when you're moving to a whole new house, we don't know her learning history. I think it's all about observing her body language, watching her body language, respecting her body language. So, for example, she may not ask to be petted right away, and that's okay. Only pet her if she asks, build a relationship, maybe just give her treats around the same time every day, a routine and a schedule. So we all feed our kitties around the same time every day, which is awesome. But especially with fearful or anxious kitties, it's really important to have routine and schedule and predictable, positive, consistent human interaction. So one thing I would have you start doing right away is pick a time of the day where you're home often. I call it picnicking, like, and get a really yummy treat like churro or tuna fish, something she really, really likes, because I might think she likes it, but we have to ask her. And then give it to her in the same place every day, and don't touch her, just walk away. So, literally, around the same time, my caregiver comes to me. She doesn't force herself on me. She doesn't loom over me. She doesn't squeak and scream at me like that. Like, you're so cute. Because a lot of cats find that really scary. You're going to just leave the tree and walk away. And she's like, that was a positive, consistent, predictable interaction. And that is like life-changing for cats when we're providing those. And then you might see she starts seeking more attention because you're building a relationship with your cat. So that was a longer answer, but it's all about respecting her body language, going at her pace, and then doing some of that structure. Like, I'm going to play with you with a wand toy where I'm away from you and you're playing with the toy around the same time per day. And then she'll start to trust you more, build that relationship, and then probably even start asking for petting, which is awesome. Welcome again to everybody. We're here at All About Cats Facebook page talking about cat behavior and cat care questions. I'm Tabitha Kucera, the owner of Chirrups and Chatter Cat and Dog Behavior Consulting, as I read these lovely questions. Let's see. I just adopted a kitty. Again, so many people adopting kitties. Love it. Why is she pooing and peeing all over the place, even though she's litter trained? Again, someone asked this something similar earlier before. If a cat is defecating and urinating outside the box, it's very likely that something medical is going on, and or your litter box setup isn't ideal. So the litter boxes might be too small. A lot of the litter boxes they sell in pet stores are too small. They're covered. Cats don't like covers. We tend to hide them away in basements and closets, which are ambush areas for a cat. So cats are prey and predator animals. So asking them to go into a dark cave or a covered thing when they're prey and predator, meaning they're always on the lookout for something to hunt them and to hunt, it's asking them a lot. So make sure those litter boxes are easily accessible. You can find, I have a really great free handout that goes over the ABCs of litter boxes, and that just covers an appropriate litter box setup, because I often don't see those. And we want to set up our kitties for success, but then also definitely get some medical advice from your veterinarian. Have them go in for a thorough exam, plus or minus urinalysis and blood work, for sure, for sure, for sure. We love our vets. Let's see here. So many great questions. What does it mean if my cat, 13 years, stays in the same spot? He only goes out when we give him food. I'm guessing you mean leaves his space, not goes outside. So that's most likely what you mean. And if you notice that your cat isn't moving a lot and like sleeps most of the day, I would be concerned about pain and or another underlying medical issue. That is not normal, not even for a senior cat. When I'm a senior, you guys, I'm going to play still. It's just going to look a little different. So senior cats should play. And if they don't, I can't tell you how often I see undiagnosed and unmanaged pain in cats. And part of that is sometimes it's a little harder to tell pain in cats because, again, they're prey and predator animals. So they have to hide their pain in most cases. So it can be harder for even awesome caregivers to maybe note that they're in pain. But a cat that's not moving very much and staying in the same area a lot, that's a pretty big indicator that something's not right. So I would definitely recommend taking some videos of your cat just eating and being normal. I'm a huge fan of taking videos of your cats acting normal, 2 to 3 small videos when you go to the vet, and then you could show your vet the videos of your cats walking and moving. And it makes such a big difference because many cats don't get their gaits, their walks examined at the vet clinic because they're comfortable in their carrier and your vet's doing the right thing. But I can't tell you as a cat behavior consultant and veterinary technician how many cats I see who are painful in homes with my background. And it's because I get to see them in their natural environment and see them walk. So just take a few videos of your cats. It's going to really help your vet do a better job of diagnosing and helping your cat. And your vet will be very thankful for it. And so will your kitty. So I would definitely recommend getting a vet visit for your 13-year-old kitty. Loving all the questions. Party, party, party. Let's see here. Any tips for giving a 5-year-old cat its eye drops without getting scratched up really bad? You guys have probably, for everyone who's stuck around, you're probably noticing a pattern. I'm not a fan of using force. I'm a fan of giving cats choice. Just like with humans, when we're given choice and not being forced to do things, we tend to be more likely to do those things. So what I would recommend for the eye drops is finding an area your cat really likes, whether it's a counter. Like I have a desk, like a bookshelf with a bath mat. My cats like to rest there. Or let's say you feed your cats around a certain area, or they have a favorite resting spot. Go there, get some treats. So a lickable treat's great. Again, like churro or a little bit of whipped cream or tuna, something like that. You could spread it really thin on a plate and if you have another person, you can have the person hold that up to them to help them stay in place. And then you can come around and place the drops in like this versus like this, because this is very scary. Cats like better the side, as you can imagine. And then someone's feeding your kitty, or even if you don't have another person, you could just put some yummy lickable stuff or some treats right near the kitty. It's just when you have it on a plate, you can help move their head. They move their head by trying to get the food instead of you moving their head. And then using that considered approach. So a side approach to do the eye drops, maybe touching the head first and then doing the eye drop, not just being like running and running away. So I would probably try to choose a comfortable place for your cat. I would avoid scruffing or holding them down, because that, as you can imagine, that makes it worse for them. And then they start fighting because they're like, what's happening? So just giving them treats in that area, being chill, using considerate approach, and trying to place the eye drops in, maybe just doing one drop and then coming back and doing the other drop, giving the cat a break. And over time, that cat's associations with those things are going to be better, versus if we just hold them down. You might have got it done once, but now that cat has a pretty negative association and might even start running away from you. And we don't want that. We want to keep it positive. So those are a few tips to get started. Let me love it, love it. These are always great questions. Let's see. So many great questions. Thank you. They're posting the treats I keep mentioning because they're so on it. My daughter has an orange male cat that is constantly eating his loose cat hair on the cat treat and or plastic. He then gets sick and throws up. Any idea why? Interesting question. Some cats just like to chew on plastic because they like the way it feels on their tongue. And some cats will chew as a displacement behavior. So like they're a little anxious or they're a little over aroused, like, wah, and they chew for that. So I would recommend, as management, because we're not sure what it is, definitely vet visit, let your vet know, all that beautiful stuff. But I would recommend cleaning your cat trees. A cat brush, like an old cheap cat brush, works amazing to get the cat fur off your cat trees. It takes no time and it makes them look brand new. So I highly recommend it. So as management, let's just try to keep control of those things so he doesn't have access to those. And then plastic, just pick it up. And then I would try to provide some things that's appropriate for him to chew. So like a cardboard box, if a cat chews on it a little bit, that's okay. That's not going to become a foreign body. And they do sell chew sticks and other things for kitties. So I would maybe look into some of those things for him, because he could be chewing because he has some stomach upset. He might be feeling a little uncomfortable, or he could be doing it, like I said, he's bored and you guys pay attention to him when he does it. I know it sounds silly, but when we teach them that, they learn that. So those are probably the most common reasons, but I would definitely recommend those few things I mentioned. And again, I want to welcome everyone to the All About Cats Ask Your Cat Behavior Questions to me, Tabitha Kucera. I am a cat behavior consultant and I own Chirps and Chatter Cat Behavior Consulting and Training. Let me see here. So many questions about this, so I'm just going to answer it. I know I touched on this last live, but I love that you guys are asking, can you suggest ways to create a positive experience with a crate for transporting? I'm going to have to let them know that I have to write an article on this because I get asked this a lot, and I am a huge proponent of making travel less stressful because it's hard for you guys. It's hard for your cats. When they get to the vet, they're already really stressed. So a few things that I would recommend to get started with is buy a nice, if your cat has a fear of the carrier, I would recommend starting over with a new one. Like for example, if you hold the carrier up and your cat runs, it's a pretty strong reaction. Your cat's not being dramatic. Your cat's not overreacting. Your cat has that real fear with that item. So we're going to buy a new one to start fresh. I'm going to just leave ideally we're going to get a carrier where the top comes off, whether it's screws, because if it's a plastic crate, you can put a nice little blanket in it. If it's a sleepy pod, not everyone can afford those, but those are great and comfy already. And you're going to just leave the bottom out in a place you guys are a lot. So not your basement, unless you hang out in your basement a lot. Like I'm in my office a lot, and I actually have a cat carrier under my desk because it's a nice resting spot. And then it doesn't only come out when they go to the vet. I can understand why most cats don't like the carrier. So starting with just the bottom, putting a nice little fleece blanket. Cats love fleece. Putting some catnip, some treats, maybe playing with them and giving them treats around it when they go in it. Then adding the top. So they might be okay with going in it right away with the top, but I like to start with just the bottom, then add the top. And then you could, for example, grab a few treats, and when they're in there, once they're comfortable and it's been a while, close the door, give them a treat, open the door up after only a few seconds. And then we're slowly going to increase the time of closing the door to get them more comfortable. By basically, we're going to open the door before they show signs of stress. So at first it might be door closed, door open, treat, door closed, treat, door open. So those are some really helpful things to help carriers be less stressful. Keep them out in an easily accessible area like your living room, your bedroom, wherever you guys are a lot, because our cats love us. They want to be with us. And then also putting good, comfortable stuff in it, giving them treats and praising them when they do go in it. And those are some wonderful ways to create a positive experiences with a crate. You can also clicker train your cats to use the crate, which there's a lot of great videos online. I have some articles and videos online. And if you are already doing clicker training or familiar with it for other species, I highly recommend doing that as well. But I love that you guys want your cats to be less stressed. It's not fun, but my cats love the carrier, and yours can too, I promise. Let's see. I just got an 8-week-old kitten and is now 11 weeks. Do I take her to the vet? Yes, Kimberly, you do. Ideally, we would start vaccines at 6 to 8 weeks and get her feline leukemia and FIV positive or tested, combo tested, and just a thorough exam. It's really common for kittens to have parasites and other things. So it's best for you if when you do make that vet visit, if you can bring a stool sample for her, that would be awesome. I'm not sure where you got the kitten from, so she might have had care at the shelter, but definitely recommend taking her to the vet for an overall checkup and to get those vaccines. Very important stuff. Let's see here. My 2 cats are acting like wild wolves. When I get the wet canned food out and won't even let me put it on the plate. If I put them in the room, they rip the carpet up instantly. So they really like the canned food. You probably already observed that. So what I would recommend doing is, what you could do is, as a distraction, just right away to make it a little less stressful, is just toss a few kibble away for them to hunt and eat while you get the wet food ready. That's something right away that can give their attention to something else, so they're a little less excited. Also giving them other appropriate outlets like puzzle toys, play times. Sometimes the only fun cats really get is food time. So I would always increase enrichment. It's definitely not going to hurt. And then you can even work up to teaching a cat to go to a mat and stay on a mat, but that takes a lot of time. But I think that kibble thing will definitely help, since having them go in the room is just too hard. But I love that you thought of that, but it does cause them some stress, so that's probably not best. Let's see here. Love it, love it, love it. Mark, your cat's gonna love Churu. Such good, but every cat's an individual. Maybe they won't. I just know most of the cats that I have and work with, and I have the pleasure of working with hundreds of cats a year. They really like it. My 12-year-old cat always hisses at my new kitten. They've been together for 3 months now. Will they ever play together? They will never play together just over time. So they won't just become okay over time. What happens is the relationship actually worsens over time. Like how I hear some things, people will be like, they'll work it out. I hear things like that. That's not a thing. That doesn't happen. In most cases, it actually gets worse because the one cat, the senior cat in this example, is conflicted and unsure of a new kitten because it's weird and different and new. And maybe you just had the kitten in a room for a day or two, and there's a lot of introduction things that we need to do to make it okay for both cats, like the new kitten coming into a new space with a new cat, and then the senior cat, where changes are a little harder for senior cats, just like they're a little harder for senior humans. So I would definitely reach out to a cat behavior consultant or trainer to help that relationship get better, because they definitely just won't be like, hey, I'm cool now, we're gonna play. We have to create positive associations and keep things controlled and keep them positive and create that in order for them to start playing with each other. Great questions though. Let's see here. My cat is over grooming herself, bald. Oh, I'm sorry. Your cat is not feeling well. Do you have any advice? Yes. The first few things I would recommend, vet visit, right? Cats commonly will overgroom when they're painful in areas, dogs too, actually. And where they overgroom also can be indicative as well. So if they tend to overgroom their abdomen, it tends to be more stress related, or it could be like a painful bladder, because urinary issues are really common, whether it's inflammation of the bladder or other issues. And if they are grooming that area, that can also indicate pain. If they're grooming their back ends, it can be a sign of pain or fleas or parasites or just an allergy, because every cat is different. So I would definitely rule out medical issues. Use a veterinarian approved, ideally a flea prevention you get from your vet, because let's definitely just nip that in the bud. And then once your vet rules those things out, it's very likely that cats do overgroom from stress. So I would definitely try to think of what stressors your cat has. And even if you're the greatest caregiver ever, my mom's awesome, you guys, and I still have a lot of stress. So it's not personal. So I would definitely create more hiding spaces, try to decrease triggers if you've identified those. Like if she's showing signs of fear when your friend's dog comes over, we're not going to have your friend's dog come over anymore. They're going to just go outside. Things like that. So try to decrease her access to triggers, increase her enrichment and appropriate hiding and vertical spaces, and rule out medical stuff. That's a great starting point. But it's definitely not normal. So it is a sign that something is wrong. So let's see here. Thank you for all the kind words. Someone mentioned their cat just underwent an antibiotic treatment for an ear infection and he doesn't see himself. He's lethargic and isolating. Good observation. I would definitely call your vet and let them know. It's unlikely to be a sign of the medications, but I'm not aware of the medications you used and all that lovely stuff. Your vet is, and they could be having a weird reaction. Again, it's very unlikely, but let your vet know. Also, your cat could have just been stressed out by you giving medication, if that's something you used to not do. And your cat might be like, I'm conflicted and unsure because dad didn't know how to give me meds and he got it done, which he was supposed to do. And now I'm unsure. So I'm isolating myself. But I would definitely call your vet and let you know, or let them know. And then also maybe just give him some treats. Like I mentioned before, the picnicking thing, let's just try to build the relationship back up. If he was a little traumatized from you giving the meds, because meds can be scary, but definitely concerning. So I'd let your vet know. I give my cat food in less than a minute. They eat it all up. Yummy, right? And it says they're begging for more. So first things first, I would talk to your vet about calculating your cat's calories. I calculate my clients' my clients' cats calories all the time to make sure, first off, that you're feeding enough, because sometimes the bags and things from the pet store, they aren't super accurate sometimes. And like wet food, for example, is way lower in calories than dry food. Wet food is awesome, but you have to feed a lot more wet food to meet the nutritional needs of your cat. So first things, I would just make sure you're feeding enough, because you'd be surprised. It's easy to do. And then secondly, what I would do is I would probably start using puzzle toys, which are just toys. I might have some in here. Oh no, I cleaned my house today, you guys. So they're all downstairs. But a puzzle toy is just a toy that a cat works to get their food out of, because cats naturally hunt to get their food. So to help slow your kitty down, you could start with a really easy puzzle toy, like a slow feeder bowl, which you guys have probably heard of with dogs. They're great for cats too. You can also get some more difficult puzzle toys, but I would start with really easy ones. There's a great website called foodpuzzlesforcats.com. I would start with a beginner puzzle toy and work up to more difficult ones based on your cat, because we don't want it to be hard for them. And every cat is at a different starting point. But puzzle toys are a really great way to help slow your cat down eating, provide them mental enrichment, allow them to cat, because you're kind of allowing them to hunt for their food. And making sure your cat has enough calories. Those are some great places to start. Again, welcome to the All About Cats Ask a Cat Behavior Consultant, your cat behavior questions. My name is Tabitha, and I'm a certified cat behavior consultant and registered vet tech at Chirps and Chatter. Let's see. Tips for chewing behavior. So cats can chew for a lot of reasons. The way I would break it down quickly is management, kind of like I discussed earlier. Management, let's prevent them from chewing. So if they chew plastic, let's pick the plastic up and put it away while we work on addressing the issue. If they chew on cords and things like that, there's like rubber pipe covers and things, because obviously we don't want anyone getting hurt. So as management, you can cover those up or limit access to those. And then what I would do is provide your cat with appropriate chewing items. Like a lot of people don't realize cats have to chew, and they don't chew as much as dogs, but I deal with a lot of cats who like to chew, especially when they're like over aroused or stressed out, and they just like to go to town on a chew stick or a box or whatever it may be. So I would definitely get some chew items that are appropriate for your cat. And if you do notice, when you do notice your cat going to chew something you don't want them to chew, I would not recommend yelling or spraying water or doing anything like that, because in many cases, cats can chew out of boredom or stress, and that's just going to get them more stressed and not teach them really what we want them to do. It might just teach them to be afraid of us. So instead, you can toss a treat to redirect them. And a lot of people are like, aren't you reinforcing them chewing? No, you're reinforcing them disengaging from the thing you don't want them to chew, and then you can give them an appropriate chew item. So those are some great things to get started as a foundation for helping your cat not chew on the things you don't want them to chew on. Let's see here. Is it recommended to trim the eyebrow, cheek, whiskers when they're too long? Great question. It is not. Cats actually use their whiskers, the ones here and here, they're throughout their body, for balance and a lot of other reasons. So it is not recommended to cut those. From a groomer or vet, nobody should be doing that. So thank you so much for asking that question, but that is not recommended. I'll try. She's traumatized and will not let anyone get close to her. So someone was answering a question and said, she's traumatized and will not let anyone get close to her, not even pet her, but if I squat down, she'll run. So this must have been a fearful cat question I answered earlier. If she's that fearful, we're going to have to break it down more and make it even easier for her. So I would start by creating a safe place for that cat, whether it's just like a bedroom with all of their resources, lots of good hiding places that aren't under the bed, like safe hiding places, like a box or a carrier, things like that. And then creating a safe place for them, and then starting to just go in and give a treat and leave and work on building a relationship and going from there. Because sometimes the whole house can just be way too much, because when an animal has stress, all that stimuli just is a lot for them. So much. Let's keep seeing these lovely questions. I see there's a lot of medication questions. I do offer medication training. So medication training exists. Not as many people do it with cats. I would love to see it more, but I offer cooperative care training sessions for cats. So I can help teach you and your cat how to happily accept meds. So definitely check that out because I'm seeing I can't cover all the questions and I would need to know way more details to cover everybody's. But those services do exist, you guys, and I love that you want it to be less stressful for your kitties. And a lot of people don't realize that those are things. Let's see here. Loving all the questions. Do. Why are cats so aggressive? They're not. I got to touch on those labels, y'all. We like to label those kitties. Kitties aren't aggressive. Animals and humans are aggressive, usually due to fear or in pain. So many people like kind of not on purpose, but they might not read their cat's body language and their cat saying, please stop. And then the client's like, the cat bit me out of nowhere when actually the cat's tail was wagging. The cat looked at your hand. The cat's ears went back. The cat gave us like 7 signs that they were really uncomfortable and for us to please stop. And the only thing that made us stop was us biting them. So we really give them no choice. Not that I want people getting bit, but cats aren't just aggressive. That's not a thing. There's always a reason to behavior. Poor cat's always getting labeled, y'all. Why is my cat so cute? Now I need to see your cat, Bendroid. All cats are cute, let's be honest, right? Let's see here. So many great questions. And I'll be doing these monthly at All About Cats because I know I can't answer all of them, but I'm loving them. Yay, our cats love their carriers because we leave them out all the time. Awesome, awesome, awesome. My cat pees in the litter box, and right after, she will poop outside the litter box. I have a lower cat litter box. I love that you have a lower cat litter box. Kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see this one. That's a Sterilite container under the bed. This is my office. And that's an appropriately sized cat litter box. So that's a low entrance box, but I even have ones that I cut even lower because a lot of cats have degenerative joint disease and or arthritis in their coxofemoral joint, which is what they use to bend and stuff. So that's great that you have a lower litter box, Sarah. The fact that your cat is peeing inside of it and then defecating outside of it, first things first, I'm thinking a lot of cats will defecate outside the box when they're not big enough. Because you see my box, this is not the litter boxes they sell in pet stores. I don't know who they're selling them for, y'all. They're not selling them for cats. So many cats, like they'll try to physically turn around and they can't turn around in the box. So their paws are in the box, but the poop goes outside the box. So I would definitely recommend getting a bigger box and then adding more boxes because some cats don't like to use boxes that have, they're very clean creatures, which is another reason why you should have boxes on every floor and all that stuff. Because if there's urine in this one, a lot of cats actually like to urinate in one box and defecate in another. So even if you only have one cat, you should have a minimum of 2 boxes because choices, and they should be separated from each other. So those are a few great things that would probably really help. Let's see here. My cat scratches the couch and we pull him off several times and it doesn't get into his head. Right. Because we're not focusing on what behavior we want. He doesn't know what you're pulling him away from. He doesn't know what's going on. So good observation. So a lot of cats will scratch. Cats scratch for a lot of reasons. One, they like to stretch and scratch when they wake up. A lot of cats like to sleep on the couch or near the couch because that's where we hang out. So first things first, I would recommend a tall, appropriate cat scratcher. So not like one of those flimsy ones that fall on their face, you guys, at least a minimum of 3 feet. So they could do that nice, beautiful, long stretch and scratch when they wake up. And place it in where near your cat rests, which probably is the living room or near the couch. Place it near the couch also, because the cat probably doesn't want to scratch the couch, but if they don't have a choice, they don't have a lot of choices, they're going to pick that. So pick an appropriate scratcher, a minimum of 3 feet, usually sisal or cardboard, whatever your cat likes, because all cats like different substrates. Choices are important. And then do not pick your cat up and put them on the scratcher. That's a big old no. Force is not fun. So then what you could do is make the scratcher appealing, put catnip on it, silver vine, play with them around it. reinforce them, like give them a treat or say good boy or girl if they like verbal praise when they scratch it. As management, you can cover your couch up with a blanket to minimize injury. It's a couch, but you guys get what I'm saying. Damage, that's the word I was looking for, damage to the couch. So in the meantime, while we're giving the cat appropriate scratching places, and when the cat does scratch that, you're going to redirect them with a toy or something to the appropriate scratcher. So those are some great places to start. We have about 15 minutes. Oh my God, I could talk cats forever. I'm going to get some water though. It's humid in Ohio, you guys. I love it, but woo. But welcome to the All About Cats. Ask a cat behavior consultant your cat behavior questions. You can get more expert insights here, guys, at the All About Cats community. I'm Tabitha. I'm the owner of Chirps and Chatter. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I have a lot of great free resources on my website. So let's get a few. What are some examples of chew toys? I know a lot of people are asking about chewing. So a cardboard box can be an appropriate chewing item if they just chew it a little bit and they're not ingesting it. If a cat chews a little bit of a box, it's not going to be a foreign body. It'll pass. But they do sell Silvervine chew sticks for cats. And also, in some cases, you like bully sticks, which are a dog thing. You can buy them for a petite dog, like a small dog, and give those to your cats. And just like with dogs, with cats, if we're giving them a new chewing item, we should monitor and remove it when it's small, like trade them. Here's a treat. Give me that. I'm going to toss that just to avoid any foreign body. And then they do have some chew toys. Like if you just look up chew toys, like there's the chew mint toys and the play toys for kittens. In my experience, a lot of cats older cats don't like those, but your cat might. And then also grass. Like I have wheatgrass and catnip in my house. And those are appropriate chewing items. So those are some good places to begin with because it can be a little harder to find chewing things if you just Google chewing cat items, which hopefully we get more of those coming. Let's see here. Do I need to get my kitties a collar? I wouldn't say need. Again, it's all about that cat's risk. Do they go in and out? I would definitely recommend a microchip, which is different than a collar. That's a chip that we implant usually when they're getting spayed or neutered at the vet clinic under anesthesia, or sometimes when they're awake. I use topical lidocaine and keep it positive. And then if your cat, God forbid, got lost or something, we have the rescue or the vet clinic will scan your cat for a microchip. Collars tend to fall off or get stuck, but they're not bad. Cat collars can be really awesome, but I wouldn't say it was a need for sure. Let's see. What are your thoughts on catwalks? I'm a huge fan. My cats are all harness trained and walk outside. I also am a cat trainer though. So I know I make it look easy. And some cats, I have 5 cats and not all of them like to go for walks. Some of them just like to go on my catio. I have one cat that likes to go to the metro parks and other areas. My one cat just likes to walk around my house on her harness and leash. And I taught them, I didn't just throw a harness on them and walk them, right? So I taught them to happily accept the harness in the house. I added the leash in the house. We walked around. You see what I mean? We broke it down into these steps. Because what I commonly see people do is kind of just buy the cat harness, throw it on their cat, and then their cat flaps over. And people are like, oh, my cat's silly or whatever. And actually, that's a sign of stress. I don't like that. And that means we went to the next step too soon. And then we take them outside where there's a bunch of stimuli. And we got to do it slow. Like I've been saying, everything. Break it down for your individual cat. But I'm a huge fan of walking your kitty outside. There's also cat strollers because I've worked with some super senior cats where their mobility is a little difficult. So in those cases, we take them out on a cat stroller and they like it, but every cat's different. Let's see here. My cat keeps jumping on his keyboard. Why is he doing this? I can tell you there's a few reasons. One, you're there and your cat loves you, which is often why, because this is my office, for example. And my cat used to do that. And there was 2 main reasons, because he loved me and he wanted to be with me. Also, keyboards and laptops and computers tend to be really warm, and cats tend to be heat-seeking creatures. They like to be hot like I do. It's humid, but I like this weather. So those things tend to be warm. And then also desks tend to be higher, and many cats don't have a lot of vertical spaces. So those are a few reasons why. What I would recommend, like I created a station. So this is a vertical place that's it's a little higher than my desk. And instead of doing this game, I just started giving my cat, I would redirect my cat to here and then give him treats for stationing on the mat. And now he hangs out there. I focused on what behavior I wanted. But that's a really, really great question. We have about 10 more minutes. Oh my God, time flies, you guys, when I'm talking cats. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. Let's see here. So many great My cat goes under the bed and then becomes bad kitty attacks when we sleep. Help. So it sounds like your cat might go under the bed and then pounce on you while you're sleeping, which again, it's hard to know for sure, but I sometimes see cats do that because you guys know how we put our legs under the sheets and stuff. That looks like prey. It's a fun game. So they create their own game and they're like, I'm going to pounce out from under the bed because I have to pounce and kill things. And if we don't give cats enough appropriate outlets or we play with them there's lots of reasons why that can happen. So what I would recommend, again, management is what we do right away to make the problem not worse and keep everybody safe while we work on addressing the problem behavior, because that takes time to change emotional states and things like that. I would recommend like hiding kibble before you go to bed, hiding kibble around your house in his favorite resting spots to get him familiar. That's the first step I usually do in feeding with puzzle toys. And before you go to bed, you guys take like 10 treats, place them in areas he likes to rest, and close your bedroom door so he has something fun to do, but your bedroom door is closed so we can prevent that behavior because when you're sleeping, it's hard to really like ignore behavior or redirect. You can't really, you're asleep. So giving your cat some fun things to do and closing the door is a great start. And then slowly working on increasing enrichment, I think, is a great place to go. How big is that litter box you showed and how to keep the litter in the box? I have 2 out of 3 cats that jump out and spread litter all over. So I use yoga mats as litter mats because, again, I don't like a lot of the litter mats out there because they're weird. And if they have weird little like grooves and stuff, your cat paws don't like them. I'm very cat friendly, guys. I think like a cat. So yoga mats are awesome because they're super cheap. I could match them to match my house and my colors and stuff. I love colors and stuff like that. And also as they walk out, because some litter is going to track because it has to, the yoga mat catches it. And in most cases, when you get appropriately sized litter boxes, like that's an under the bed container one, but usually with the storage, I go 18 or 30 gallon. That's my preferred size when I'm going to the tall ones. But usually when you get litter boxes that are appropriately sized that the cat can physically turn around in, there's less litter outside because the litter boxes that many pet stores are creating or sell, the cat actually has to come out to do their normal. They walk in, scoop, find a spot, go to the bathroom. They have to come out to cover because there's not enough room to do it in there, their natural behavior. So then litter goes everywhere. So we actually see a decrease in that when there's appropriately sized boxes. Party. Should my cat's litter box be hooded? It's all about choice. I'll be honest. Most cats do not like covered boxes because the ambush thing I mentioned earlier, like cats are prey and predator animals, and asking them to go into a dark area to go to the bathroom is kind of asking a lot, especially if you have more than one cat. Also, cats are really sensitive. They have very sensitive respiratory tracts and they're very sensitive. So even like I use like a low dust litter and there's still dust. I use a 0 dust litter and there's still a little dust. So for a cat, if it's hooded and they're in there doing their normal thing, that's a lot of respiratory irritants, guys. It's a party. And then the smell, it stays in longer. So if you are going to have a covered box, in most cases, I'm all about asking the cat. Most cats do not prefer them, but if you're going to have one, you better ideally, in the kindest way, ideally have a non-covered one as well, choices, 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 choices. We have 5 more minutes. Let's see here. So many great questions. Party, party, party. Let's see here. I saw someone asking about the questions. They're just all in the chat. And I'm doing my best to answer as many as I can. You guys are awesome, and I love all of the questions that you're asking. Let's see here. How do I help my cat with separation anxiety? Oh, wait, no, it disappeared. More of an issue now as she gets older. I leave or I am in the shower, she starts yowling. So I wouldn't say for sure that your cat has separation anxiety. I'm not saying that they don't, but I would need to gather more information to figure that out because I don't want to just throw that there. But you did describe the behavior. Your cat yowls when you're not around. So this could be, especially because your cat's getting older, yowling could be a cognitive dysfunction sign where they're just like, what's going on? Where is everybody at? I'm going to yowl so I can see you because my eyesight might be getting a little, as I get older, not be as good. My hearing might be going a little bit. So they're a little more concerned when they can't see people. So it's not like it's kind of a separation distress. But what I would recommend is giving your cat fun things to do prior to going to shower. So like, hey, here's a licky mat with some delicious lickable treats. You're going to get this, and then I'm going to go take a shower. So try to give them fun things to do while you're going away to start. And then I would definitely talk to your veterinarian and let them know, and then kind of go from there. All right, party, party, party. Loving all the questions. I think I can answer one more because it's already 4:57. Thank you for everybody joining. Again, my name is Tabitha Kucera. I'm in sweaty, humid Ohio. I am the owner of Chirps and Chatter Cat and Dog Behavior Consulting. And you guys can definitely get more expert insights since you have all these lovely questions at the All About Cats community right there. And I'm going to answer one more question. Love it, love it, love it. What do you recommend for a cat who loves spending time outside but is an indoor cat? So I would recommend increasing the enrichment. I know I keep saying that, right? But one of the things I like to do is bring the outside in. So I'm familiar with what's in my yard because safety first, right, guys? And I'll just get some sticks and some, again, I have cat grass that I grow and I bring in the house, and I have wheatgrass that I grow. So I have cat safe plants that are made for cats to chew. So I bring the outside in like that, but then sometimes I'll just get some sticks and some fun things for like some leaves and things from outside that I'm familiar with in my yard. And I'll bring it inside at the bottom of a carrier or in a box for them to smell and explore and check out. Those are some really great things to get started with. And then also, of course, giving them access to windows, which I'm sure you already do, maybe setting up some bird TV, a bird feeder outside. And then you could definitely look into giving your cat some outdoor time. But I understand why you would want that like supervised, because depending on where you live, there could be risks. So I would definitely start looking into catios or cat tents, like leash harness training. There's a lot of safe ways to let your cat outside, but bringing the outside in and giving them access to some great windows are awesome start. Awesome start. So I'm going to end the beautiful chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for a whole hour. I can't believe it. I didn't stop talking. I am Tabitha Kucera, the owner of Chirps and Chatter Cat and Dog Behavior Consulting. I will be back to talk all about cat behavior and answer all your questions. And in the meantime, you guys can definitely get some more expert insights at the All About Cats community. Boop, 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 boop. But I wanted to thank everybody for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Love your cat for me. I know you guys all are already.